Hi, everybody. It's Gary Lucas. So nice to see you on this beautiful Saturday afternoon in New York. Temperature has climbed up into the 50s. The streets are filled with young revelers and us old cloven-hoofed people hobbling along. No, I'm just kidding. It's a beautiful day and a beautiful day to play for you. So thank you for joining me here. And let's see where. medley of sorts. Caroline liked that one, did you? Sort of. She's a bit preoccupied, though. She loved Leave It to Beaver the other day because she'd never heard that before, but it's such a meme-like little theme that she was warbling. If you go back to listen to that one again, I think it's up on the timeline or it's in the archive. You'd be privileged to hear. I've tried forever to get her on a track, to sing on a track, either in the studio or here at home. But, yes, the spirit is willing. But anyway, I want to do a little salute because today is, I think, technically the first day of spring, is it not? And so in remembering my spring-like verses that were drummed into me when I was a boy, maybe in the first grade or so, I remember having to learn this poem called In Just Spring. A nice play on words there by E.E. Cummings. Be celebrated. And so anyway, here it is. I got it all queued up on the old MacBook Pro 13-incher. In Just Spring. When the world is mud luscious, the little lame balloon man whistles far and wee. Now you have to recall that he's very much about the typographical layout. So my rendering of it is probably not what he heard in his head. I'm not sure how you're supposed to enumerate this poem, but anyway, I think it makes a good... All right, so we'll do it again. In just spring, big pause, big space bar. When the world is mud luscious, the little lame balloon man whistles far and wee. I'm just going to read it out. And Eddie and Bill come running from marbles and piracies, and it's spring when the world is puddle wonderful. Nice concatenation of verbiage there. The queer old balloon man whistles far and wee, and Betty and Isbill come dancing from hopscotch and jump rope, and it's spring, and the goat-footed balloon man whistles far and wee. So I don't know, but in this day and age of cancel culture, I would say this poem probably is not going to pass muster with the brain police out there, in academia at least, to be as fit to be taught in school these days, because it's got a lot of suspect, coded imagery here in the minds of many people with such mindsets. For instance, the queer old balloon man. I mean, what was he driving at there? Also, the goat-footed balloon man. One can only think of the great god Pan, Arthur Machen, or something of that ilk these days. But I digress, because E. Cummings is still very much in the canon. Here I am. And anyway, I would definitely point you to his poetry as being certainly worthy of a gander these days. Now, while I got your attention, I've been looking for a copy of this forever. It's a book. It's a Festschrift, really. It's a celebration of the one and only American visionary genius, Harry Smith, whose name is probably not all that familiar to many Americans, if not most people in the world, although beloved of people like Hal Wilner, my friend, the late, great Hal Wilner, who actually put together a great tribute to Harry Smith, primarily his anthology of American folk music, which was the bedrock, which was the Bible for a lot of people coming up in the folky era, such as Bob Dylan and Dave Van Ronk. I mean, it was a source book. It was actually the first large-scale gathering of very, very obscure work that had flourished in the 20s and 30s on 78 RPM records, and collected a lot of it, and it didn't discriminate. It crossed all color lines insofar as there being a little bit of something for every strain of American in there: black, brown, red, Chinese, yellow, what have you, rainbow America, in terms of the artists that were featured on this on this great anthology. So, check it out, because the Smithsonian Institute reissued this. It originally came out on the Folkways label, but the other part of Harry Smith, if you're hip to his work, were incredible hand-painted films that he made and painted over actual celluloid, some of which have been collected, and you might be able to find them, I think, on YouTube, or check Vimeo or Daily Motion. But some of them are quite psychedelic, let us say, in the best sense of the word, mind manifesting. So here is this anthology called American Mages, Harry Smith, that filmmaker, anthropologist, painter, ethnomusicologist, folklorist, magician, alchemist, legendary archivist of sediments of human activity and motion. A good friend of the Beats, for instance, and he would be a card-carrying beatnik back in the day. So this lists a lot of his work, and there are examples of it in photos and interviews, great stuff. And among the contributors, I know some of these people. Ronnie Singh, who more or less runs the Harry Smith Foundation. Jordan Belson. Don't know him personally. I don't think he's alive anymore, but he was one of the great underground film animation geniuses whose work I was first exposed to in a traveling show that featured actually a remix or a redo of a track by a great psychedelic band, the United States of America, who I recently hooked up with their lead singer, Dorothy Moskowitz. They had one album out on Columbia Records that came actually in a manila envelope, the original pressing stamped with an industrial type stamp, the United States of America. I think I got that through joining the Columbia Record Club. A great one-off with her and her ex-boyfriend at the time, an authentic American communist named Joseph Bird, who was also a visionary genius composer in his own right. And anyway, Dorothy and I have a real good collaboration going now, long distance. I've never met her, but she's on Facebook here, and you should check out their music. But anyway, so how does this connect with Harry Smith? Well, Jordan Belson wrote a bit about Harry Smith here, and Jordan Belson, before really Stanley Kubrick's 2001 hit, the Cinerama Theaters of America in 1968, or 69, I gotta check that date. Belson was making on the West Coast some of the most psychedelic imagery with processes of animation, or let's say printing and reprinting on film, overlapping imagery, some of the most trippy abstract imagery I'd ever seen at the time, and it still holds up. It's great stuff. And he has a foundation dedicated to his work. So he contributed to this, as did Jonas Mekas, who I did know, and who I played a tribute to last year, about a year ago, right before lockdown, at Anthology Film Archives here on the Lower East Side of New York. I played to a short clip that was put together by my old friend Ken Jacobs, another visionary American filmmaker who's still going strong. And Jim Jarmusch complimented me after this event. I was there with my friend Ed Sanders of the Fugs, and Fuck You, a magazine of the arts, and all sorts of good stuff. Ed is a friend. And anyway, so Jonas wrote about it. Robert Frank, Allen Ginsberg all contributed. John Cohen, I actually did know. He passed away last year. He was a great American folklorist and performer. He was in a great early folky group, probably the most authentic of all of them, for white people there, now called the New Lost City Ramblers. And along with Mike Seeger, Pete Seeger's brother, I believe, and who was the third member? Well, it escapes me, but many years later I worked with John Cohen's daughter, Sonia Cohen, who was amazing, who was the lead singer of a project here with a friend of mine who went under the name A. Leroy. And they had a group called Last Forever. They did one album on None Such. That's quite good. But the demos were really the best stuff. Anyway, John Cohn wrote something in here. So I can't wait to start reading all this stuff. It's published by In and Out Press. And I found it yesterday at my friends, the Left Bank Books, who I have touted before. But if you go on Perry Street on the corner of 7th Avenue, there they are, tucked away, but fairly visible, right next to the old mansion that belonged in sequence to Sir Mick Jagger and then Chris Blackwell of Island Records fame, and then it became Sir Richard Branson's manse. I did some freelance work for them when Virgin America was operating out of the basement there. And I'm not sure who the present-day occupants are, but I wonder. Anyway, check it out, Harry Smith, American Magus, if you can find a copy. And definitely check out the website for Left Bank Books. They have some amazing stuff there, and it's not too pricey. And okay. So now I'm going to play some more. I did a taping yesterday, courtesy Caroline as my camera person, for John Schaefer's New Sound. John is an old friend and supporter. I must have been on that show in the 90s, I don't know, 15 or so times. And it's great to be back there. So I'll have an announcement soon of when he's going to run a segment with showing some of these clips, because he has a setup now apparently through a web browser. I have to check it. I'm so old-fashioned here with nomenclature for this stuff. I am going to do one piece now. It's very disturbing, the news about the torrent of explosive prejudice against Asian people, certainly in this country, and I'm sure worldwide, which I can blame the former president for. I can lay a lot of this on his door, because he really helped stir shit up with his comments over the course of the pandemic. Oh, and by the way, today I think marks the 144th show I've done during the pandemic. I'm reliably here 3 times a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I think the first one, official one, was March 19th, which would have been yesterday. So anyway, this is a medley of Chinese pop music from the 30s and 40s. It's a medley of songs made famous by two of the so-called seven great singing stars of Shanghai, Zhou Xuan, also known as Golden Voice of China, and Bai Guang, who was known as White Light. And I love to play this music. I've been playing this music and championing these singers for at least nearly 25 years now. And I never get tired of playing this. And I hope I've, spread the word and turned a lot of people on to how beautiful Chinese music is, because actually for most Caucasian people, or non-Chinese people, let us say, it doesn't resonate at all. They find it very hard on the ear. And in fact, there was a great melding in the 40s, 30s, 40s, into the 50s, of Western swing, timpanelli, pop elements, Broadway stylings, Yiddish theater. There was a great connection, actually, of Jewish jazz musicians and Chinese music, and also black musicians. It's a fascinating subject for further research, and I've done a lot of it thanks to Andrew Bull, who got me to play in Shanghai numerous times, and always loved to play in Asia. I have a whole history there, actually, going back to about 1975, when I found myself in Taipei for a couple of years and visited Hong Kong frequently and Bangkok. And well, that's another story. We'll leave that. Anyway, we're almost out of time, but I just wanted to say, check out, there's a great new article about a guy I played with who just was interviewed for PleaseKillMe.com, who I've just written a new piece for, but I don't want to say too much about that. But he's really a good player, and his name is Nick Reynolds. He's done a lot else, too. It turned out he was actually one of the people behind this fascinating documentary about Brian Jones, which I did review for Please Kill Me, I think in the summer it first came out. So check it out. Check out this website, because it's one of the best places to go to get crucial information about a lot of music which has been ignored or papered over, or let's say, you're not going to find in like a Rolling Stone, let us say, by a long chalk these days. So enough said. And also I hope that Feifei Yang and I get to play again soon for you guys. I have had nothing but fun working with her for several years now, and we have some beautiful albums in the can. One is a volume 2 of Edge of Heaven songs from that era. The first one that I did came out about 2000. It was right on 9/11, actually, and I was in Paris promoting that album. That's another story. And then there's a volume 3, which is Mandarin versions of classics by Bob Dylan, Leonard Cohen, Tuli Kupferberg of the Fugs. A lot of good people. And anyway, I hope it sees the light of day. Anyway, I'm just looking forward to making music for you guys so much. And I'm tickled that you keep turning in and listening to me tune up here and staying in shape. There's something to be said for a regimen of playing at least 3 times a week publicly. And let's just take a look over the neighborhood while we can to enjoy the beautiful sunshine. Okay, not much stirring on the rooftop. The workmen have taken a holiday on both building sites. Luckily, it didn't take any of our view, which has already gotten a bit chopped over the years. And, I hope you will check out and tune in on Tuesday. I love playing for you. Please visit the virtual tip jar at PayPal. And what else can I say? Stay safe. We don't know what's going to happen next. It's like every day there's some new bulletin about this and that variant and encroaching on our living space. And that's all. I don't know. I'm just I'm surfing the wave as is everybody. But anyway, I'll reliably be here on Tuesday. Okay, love you guys, and see you soon. Bye.